This call is now being recorded.
Okay, in today's class, we will start with module 3. So, that is the last module of our subject. So far, we have covered first module, second module from electrical, and fourth, fifth, sixth module from electronics. And the last module is third module, that is in electrical AC circuit. Okay, so in this module, we have to learn about AC circuit. Um, that is phasor representation of sinusoidal quantity. We already got an introduction about what is an AC waveform, how to generate an AC waveform, what are the important terminologies in an AC waveform, like period, and then cycle, uh, peak value, RMS value, instantaneous value, what is form factor, what is peak factor. Everything we have learned during the end of second module, and it is just the continuation of the second module. We are going to learn about AC, alternating current, in detail. Okay, so in and also we are going to learn different method to represent this phasor, that is trigonometry, rectangular, polar, and complex form. And then we are going to analyze AC circuit. Analysis of DC circuit we have already completed, that is our mesh analysis, node analysis, then by applying KVL, KCL. That is what we are discussing when we are analyzing DC circuit. Now this is about analyzing AC circuit. It is entirely different from DC. So in that case, we are going to explain purely resistive circuit, inductive circuit, capacitive circuit, and combinations of all these resistive, inductive, and capacitive. Okay, then we are going to learn about, uh, we are going to do some numerical problems on this analysis. That is not so difficult, easy. And then in the end, we are going to learn about three-phase AC system. This is the most important part of this module. At least one derivation or a problem. There are two derivation, and based on the derivation, you have problems. At least one question will be asking for 10 marks from this topic. That is for sure. So I would say this part of the module is most important, and the other part also important. But I'm considering you will be getting a 10-mark question from this topic for sure. Either it may be a problem or it will be a derivation. Derivation means there are two derivation of almost 90% both are of same type, and if you learn one derivation, you can easily attend the other one. Okay, now about AC quantity. We know that AC is a continuously varying waveform, that it will be switching between positive and negative half cycle. We have already studied about that. Uh, so the total duration for a complete cycle is known as period P, and is expressed in T. And one cycle means there will be a positive half cycle and negative half cycle, and it will alternate in that similar fashion for the remaining cycle. And then we have seen frequency of an AC signal. It is the number of cycles per second. In a second, how many such cycles are there? That count is the period. And then we have seen what is the peak value uh, of AC signal or AC waveform, and peak to peak value also we have discussed. Then average value, RMS value. Okay, we will start with this module, phasor representation of quantity. So if you have such a waveform, for example, I have one more waveform. Suppose this waveform is of voltage. Same, I have one more current waveform. It was something like this. So when you are getting waveforms like that, it is very difficult to analyze what happened to input, what happened to output, what is the current, what is the waveform, how much variation is there in the current when you are analyzing with voltage. That kind of uh, problem will come when you are analyzing AC quantity. So in order to make it simple, the analysis of AC, in order to make it simple, we are going for phasor. So if you go for phasor analysis, it is much more simpler than the direct waveform analysis. So that we are going to learn about phasor representation. Basically, phasor is a rotating vector. We know what is a vector. We already studied what is a scalar quantity, what is a vector quantity. What is vector quantity? ആരെങ്കിലും പറ എന്താണ് വെക്ടർ ക്വാണ്ടിറ്റി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്? Or what is the difference between vector and a scalar? What is the difference between vector and scalar quantity? ആരും പറയുന്നില്ലല്ലോ. ഡോട്ട് പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ക്രോസ് പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് അല്ല, ഡിസ്റ്റൻസ് പെർ ടൈം. അയ്യോ, ആ ഓക്കെ, അനുഗ്രഹ അത് കറക്റ്റ് പോയിന്റാണ്. ഹാവ് ബോത്ത് ഡയറക്ഷൻ ആൻഡ് മാഗ്നിറ്റ്യൂഡ്. സോ വെക്ടർ ക്വാണ്ടിറ്റി is a or vector of a quantity means that quantity is having both magnitude and direction. Scalar means it doesn't have direction, it is having only magnitude. For example, you explain like a weight. For example, one object is there. This object is having weight of 10 kg. That means it is a scalar quantity. Because weight means what? It is just a magnitude. It doesn't have uh, any direction. Weight means it is 10 kg. That means it is magnitude is 10 kg. Uh, that is the thing. But if you consider another example, force. If you consider only this object, that is an object of 10 kg weight, if someone applies force, you can tell like that. He might have applied force in this direction, or he might have applied force in this direction, or he might have applied force in this direction. So it is very important to say that at which direction the force is applied. Okay, so some quantity required to be defined in such a way that it is having a magnitude and also having a direction. So here force is a vector quantity. Okay, weight is a scalar quantity. Okay, like that many examples are there. As someone told, some distance divided by time, something like that. Velocity, when we are speaking about velocity, it is a vector quantity because in which direction it is going, that is also important. Okay, so that, like that quantities are called vector quantity. Okay, so here we are, a phasor means it is a rotating vector. That means it is having both magnitude and direction. Okay, a phasor is a scaled line whose length represent AC quantity that has both magnitude and direction. Okay, so vector means it is a line. Okay, as per this definition, it is a line. Okay, I can draw a straight line. So vector means it is a line whose length, the length of this represent an AC quantity that has both magnitude and direction. Okay, we'll see one more statement. vectors are assumed to pivot at one end and around a fixed 0 point known as point of origin. So what I'm doing is, I'm going to uh, uh, consider this line, and what I'm doing is I'm fixing this end as point of origin. So this is the origin. Okay, one end, left side of this line I have made it as origin. Okay, that is what about first sentence. Vectors are assumed to be pivot at one end around a fixed 0 point known as point of origin. So this is point of origin. While the arrowed end representing the quantity. So next end is having an arrow. So I have to draw an arrow there. Okay, and the length of this line actually represent magnitude. Okay, so for example, if you have an AC quantity, the length of this line represents the magnitude of that AC quantity. And the same line will be rotating in anti-clockwise direction at an angular velocity omega. We already know the expression for instantaneous value is Vm sine omega mt, where omega is the angular velocity. So with that angular velocity, this arrow, this vector will be rotating in the anti-clockwise direction as per this equation. So what will happen if you know this sine wave? So this will be keep on rotating. That is, this is a 0 degree. That is origin, and after that it will rotate 90 degree here. So what will happen? The vector will come at this position, 90 degree position. Then after that 180 degree is the again 180 degree position it will show, and again 270 degrees. So it will show. It will rotate like that in the anti-clockwise direction. That is very important because anti-clockwise direction is considered as positive rotation. For example, you can see that there is a sine wave. The sine wave is drawn like this, and the peak value of sine wave is the length, the magnitude or length. Based on that, we are drawing the uh, length of vector, and we are assuming that it is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction with angular frequency omega. Because this wave also referenced by an angular velocity omega. So similarly, this vector also, or this phasor, whose length is the magnitude of AC waveform, peak value of AC waveform, and that will be rotating with an angular velocity omega in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, I will show you one animation. I think you can uh, see it in the form of an animation. Here, as the sine wave, now, okay, let me try to stop this one. Okay, now, okay, wait. Okay, now you see that the waveform after reaching positive half cycle, then there was a negative half cycle. Now it is in zero. The waveform is in zero. Look at the uh, phasor. The magnitude is peak value. So there is a line is drawn with the maximum magnitude, that peak value. നമ്മൾ ലെങ്ത് ഓഫ് ദ വെക്ടർ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ലെങ്ത് ഓഫ് ദ ഫേസർ, ലെങ്ത് ഓഫ് ദ ഫേസർ ഇസ് ദ peak value of AC quantity. So peak value is always constant. Only instantaneous values vary. So the length of the phasor remains same. Okay, every time it remains same. Only the instantaneous value varies, depends on the omega value. So first I have drawn phasor like this. Now you just uh, look at the diagram. So it has moved as the waveform changes from 0 to positive peak value, you can see that it is rotating in the anti-clockwise direction. Now see, after 90 degree, so now just pass to 90 degree, okay, no problem. After 90 degree, this phaser also moved 90 degree. Now we will go for 180 degree. So after 180 degree, the phaser also rotated 180 degree. So after 270 degree, the phaser also rotated 270 degree. And after one complete cycle, it has reached back to the initial position. So we can see that from this uh, waveform, one waveform can be directly converted into a phasor form. Suppose if you have two or three waveform, you can draw the same wave, same phasor in the same diagram so that you can analyze how phasor is rotating. Because normally looking into a sine waveform, only one sine waveform means it is okay. But if there are two or three sine wave, it is very difficult to analyze. But then if you have phasor similar to this, two or three phasor, it will be very easy for you to analyze. Okay, again, if someone asks what is a phasor, what you have to tell, phasor is a vector quantity whose length defines magnitude of an AC quantity, and it also gives direction in the anti-clockwise direction. Okay, you can define like that, or you can explain like that. The magnitude of an AC quantity is represented by the length of the phasor, and the phasor is rotating in the anticlockwise direction with its angular velocity omega. Then you can draw this sine waveform, and also you can draw the phasor, and you can show that the length is peak value of the AC waveform, and it is rotating with an angular frequency omega. So you understand the concept. Look at this diagram or animation. So as the sine wave moves from positive peak to positive zero to positive peak, it vector also phasor also rotate from 0 to 90 degree. Then from positive peak to negative peak, what it is doing is the vector also rotating from 90 degree to 270 degree. And when the waveform again completes one cycle, when the waveform completes one cycle, the phasor return back to the initial position, that is 0 degree. Okay. You can also represent instantaneous value of an AC signal by using a phasor, but the difference is if you represent the instantaneous value, the length of this phasor will vary, depends on the angular velocity. You know that when it is 0, the length of the phasor, the instantaneous value is 0. So there won't be any line when it is in the 0. When it reaches 90 degree, the length of the line become maximum because the magnitude instantaneous value is peak value, and the length varies every time as the omega, as there is a change in the omega. Okay. Now we will learn another term, phase difference. Okay. Phase difference means when there are two waveforms. For example, whenever we are analyzing an AC waveform, we have to analyze with the help of voltage and current. Okay, so normally when we are analyzing, there will be two quantities, voltage and current. So we have to analyze waveforms of both voltage and current. So see the first example. Here I have marked both voltage and current, but it is of same phase. You can see that there is only one waveform. That means both are overlapped each other. Actually, I have drawn voltage of A, or sorry, waveform of A on waveform of B, and it is overlapped each other, that means there is no phase shift because both the current and waveform are exactly same. Because whenever current crosses zero, voltage also crosses zero. Whenever current reaches peak value, voltage also reaching peak value. Both are in same phase. That is the meaning of same phase. That means phase shift is 0 degree. A and B waveform are in perfect step with each other. So whenever I am drawing phasor, phasor also I should draw in such a way that it overlap each other. Okay, A and B phasor are exactly same. But look at the second waveform, then you will understand the concept. Okay, assume that there are two waveform A and B. Uh, A waveform is the dark one, and dotted line is B waveform. And when A waveform reaches peak value, B waveform have just crossed zero. Okay, that means it is lagging by 90 degree. ബി ഈസ് ലാഗിങ് ബൈ 90 ഡിഗ്രി. ബി ആരുടെ ബാക്കിലാണ്? എയുടെ ബാക്കിലാണ് അല്ലേ? എയും ബിയും ഒരുമിച്ചല്ല സീറോ ക്രോസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. എയും ബിയും ഒരുമിച്ചല്ല 90 ഡിഗ്രി പീക്ക് വാല്യൂയിൽ എത്തുന്നത്. ഫസ്റ്റ് എ റീച്ചസ് ദ പീക്ക് വാല്യൂ, then after 90 degree, you can see this diagram, after 90 degree B reaches the peak value. That means A is leading and B is lagging. ആരാ ലീഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്? ആരാ മുന്നിൽ? എ. ആരാണ് ബാക്കിലായത്? ബി. സോ എ ഈസ് ലീഡിങ്, ബി ഈസ് ലാഗിങ്. ലുക്ക് at the phasor diagram. In this also, we already learned that it is rotating in anti-clockwise direction. So if you draw anti-clockwise direction, A is leading. A അല്ലേ മുന്നിൽ? അല്ലേ? എ ആണ് മുന്നിൽ. B is lagging. ആരാ ബാക്കിൽ? B ആണ് lagging. And what is the phase difference? 90 degree. So it is very easy to analyze if you get phasor diagram like this. Then you can apply all the equations related to stator and vector quantity to find out what is the resultant vector. And see the third diagram where B reaches 90 degree first and then A. That means B is leading, A is lagging. So if you take B as a reference, B is leading it. That's right. That is correct, right? B is leading. So I am taking B as a reference, 0, and A is behind B. A is lagging behind B. So that is by 90 degree. So I am drawing like this. You can draw like this also. First diagram also correct. If you draw like this also correct. But here you have to write B because B is leading and A is lagging. And see the last diagram, it is exactly out of phase because it is just opposite to each other. 180 degree phase is there. See, B reaches peak value here. After 180 degree only, A reaches peak value. So when you are drawing the phasor diagram, you have to draw like this. B is there, that is reference, and after 180 degree, A reaches the peak value. So I should draw the phasor like this. So did you understand what is a phase difference? What is a phase difference? It is very important when we are discussing the next topics of this module. Did you understand this? എല്ലാവരും മനസ്സിലായോ ഇത്? ആരും പറയുന്നില്ലല്ലോ. Okay, ഫസ്റ്റ് ഡയഗ്രം നോക്കൂ. ഫസ്റ്റ് ഡയഗ്രത്തിൽ എയും ബിയും ഓവർലാപ്പ് ചെയ്തിട്ടാണുള്ളത്. ബോത്ത് ആർ ഓവർലാപ്പ് ഈച്ച് അതർ. സോ ദ ഫേസർ ഡയഗ്രം ഓൾസോ drawn in such a way that it is overlapped each other. And see the second diagram where A is leading B or B is lagging behind A. ആരാണ് മുന്നിൽ? എ ആണ് മുന്നിൽ, ബി ബാക്കിലാണ്. സോ ഫേസർ ഡയഗ്രം, ഇൻ ഫേസർ ഡയഗ്രം the anti-clockwise rotation is considered as positive rotation. So we are drawing in such a way that A is leading B by 90 degree. So the diagram should come like this. Even you can draw like this also, no issue. If you draw like this, you can mark this as A, this as B. Both are correct because the length of this one is magnitude, and in the case of direction, B is lagging behind A by 90 degree. Both are correct. Or at one stage of rotation, the first diagram, this diagram will become like this. There is no issue. And see the third diagram, here B is lagging, A is leading. Sorry, B is leading, A is lagging. So then you have to draw like this. And the third diagram, the waveforms are completely out of phase. That means 180 degree phase shift is there. So first you draw one of the diagram, A or B, and draw other quantity, because here B is leading actually. So first you draw B and 180 degree in the anti-clockwise direction. You have to draw the vector quantity A. So you can see these equations. In the case of this equation, V of t, it is an equation for instantaneous value of an AC quantity. V of t is equal to Vm sine omega t. And you look at the equation of I of t, Im sine omega t minus phi. We are reducing an angle phi from omega t. That means we are reducing an angle phi from omega t. That is, meaning is that I is lagging behind V, because angular frequency of V is omega, or I can tell like the angle of, or I can say the angular displacement, because displacement by time is velocity. Displacement by time is velocity. So omega is angular velocity actually into time. So it is displacement. So T I can cancel. It is omega t means displacement. So it will be a displacement by an angle. Okay. So then when you are thinking about current equation of current waveform, it is omega t minus phi. So assume that the voltage waveform is 30 degree, is at 30 degree, or it is at a position 30 degree. Then current is 30 minus an angle phi. That means current actually lagging behind voltage by an angle phi. So you have to draw phasor like this, lagging behind by an angle phi. But in this case, you look at the expression, voltage is Vm sin omega t, but current is Im sin omega t plus phi. That means current is leading, because suppose this is at 30 degree, current is at 30 plus phi. So current is leading at an angle phi. Like that, it will come. Okay, now about a representation of phasor. How to represent a phasor quantity? So we have seen only diagrams till now. How to represent it? How to convert it into a form of uh, terms where we can do some mathematics on it. That is what we are going to discuss. So there are three different methods by using which we can represent a phasor quantity. And normally phasors are represented in complex form. Complex form means it is having both real and imaginary part. And the three methods are rectangular form and Cartesian form. That is the first method. Then second one is polar form. Third method is triangular form. Okay. So in rectangular form, you can look at this diagram. There is a real axis. Here x is real axis and y is imaginary axis. A phasor is represented like this. How phasor, or I can write vector, voltage vector V is equal to x plus jy. Okay, so real part plus j imaginary part. This is represented in that manner. And what about polar form? It is represented like this. A radius of this value with an angle. So this is phi. So here you can see that it is represented in polar form. Voltage V is represented R at an angle phi. So where R is the length of vector quantity and phi is the angle from 0 degree. And the third one is triangular form, where it is represented V is equal to R into e raised to j phi, where e raised to j phi is nothing but cos phi plus j sin phi. E raised to j phi is nothing but cos phi plus j sin phi. So these are the three methods to represent a phasor quantity. Okay, we will see it in the during the fifth hour. Okay, we will discuss the same in the fifth hour. Now let us wind up the class. Attendance, Anas,
Present, sir.
Anashwar,
Present, sir.
Anugrah,
Present, sir.
Ashwant, Dhyan,
Present, sir.
Fatima Nada, Safa, Safa, Sana, yeah. Jodish,
Present, sir.
Kailas, Mohammad Muwaz Farooq, Neha Sharif,
Present, sir.
Nikhil Das,
Present, sir.
Pranav,
Present.
Sayant,
Sir, Fatim to Safiya Sanim present ആണ്.
ഓക്കെ, അപ്പം ഇന്നത്തെ ക്ലാസ്സിൽ we were discussing about the third module of electrical, and we have discussed what is a phasor. Phasor quantity means it is a vector actually, and the length of that vector is the peak value of sine waveform, and it rotates in the anti-clockwise direction with an angular frequency, angular velocity omega. And we have seen that what is phase difference. When you have two waveform, you should understand which one is lagging, which one is leading, or both are in phase or both are out of phase. And then also we have discussed what are the three methods to represent a phasor. So one is a rectangular or Cartesian form. In that rectangular or Cartesian form, a vector is represented in both real axis and imaginary axis. That is x plus jy. In that form, we used to represent where x is the value in the real axis, y is the value in imaginary axis. And then we are also used to represent in polar form. In polar form, the quantity is rotated by its radius, that is vector v is equal to r at an angle phi, where r is the radius of the vector and phi is the angle from 0 degree. And then the third one is triangular form, where we used to represent r into e raised to j phi, where e raised to j phi is cos phi plus j sin phi. So those are the three methods to represent an AC quantity. So we will see in detail in the next class. There are some numeric we have to do related to that. Okay, നമുക്ക് end ചെയ്യാം.